Hi everybody, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. Now, I will admit I have not been as diligent about updating my reads on Goodreads as I should. I haven't really kept track of it religiously until I decided to start my channel. I do need to go back through and update it, but these are the books that are relevant to the questions for the tag. I'm not sure if all of these are on Goodreads as of right now, but I have read them all this year. The original video has since been taken down, unfortunately, but I did find the video of the co-creator, and I will link her channel down below for you guys. And without further ado, let's jump right into the tag. The first question is, what is the best book that you have read so far in 2019? And that is easy for me. It is You Were Here by Gian Sarter. I love this book so much. It's a debut novel, and it follows two timelines, one in present day and one in 1948, that interconnect on a missing persons case and somebody years later dreaming about this person and trying to figure out the clues and find out what happened to them. I won't say much more. I have a full review on this already, but it's absolutely stunning writing. It's very gripping. It had a twist that I didn't see coming. I just love this book with everything I have. I would say that it's not only my favorite book of 2019, but it may even be one of my favorite books of the last 3 years. It is that good. I urge you, pick this up, read it, let's start a discussion. It's definitely worth it, and I cannot wait to see what else this author puts out. The next question is, what is the best sequel that you have read in 2019? I have not read very many sequels this year so far. I do plan on reading several in the second half of the year, but from the ones that I have read, I will say Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. I love this series, I do, but I've been kind of late on the bandwagon with finishing the books because I got tired of dystopians for a while, so I took a long break from them. But I did read this earlier in the year, and I loved it as much, if not more, than The Hunger Games. I thought it was absolutely amazing. I look forward to finishing Mockingjay later this year, and I'm super excited for the announcement, if you haven't heard, that Suzanne Collins made. For next year, there's going to be a prequel to The Hunger Games come out set. I think it's 76 years before the one that Katniss was in. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm probably going to reread the entire series again in preparation for that once we get closer to the date. I love Catching Fire. It's one of the best sequels I think I've ever read. It's just so amazing. It has all of the elements the first book had, and it builds on it, and that's the way that a sequel should be. The third question is new release that you haven't read yet but you want to. And for me, this would be The Devouring Gray. I like the premise of this book. It sounds very mystery, very twisty, dark, edgy. It seems to me from the reviews that I have seen that it has a Stranger Things kind of a vibe, and I love Stranger Things. I haven't read it yet because of how hyped it is. I've mentioned this a couple times before. I like to wait on overly hyped books so that I don't pump up my expectations and end up being disappointed. But once talk dies down a little bit, I will be reading that one, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope that it's as amazing as it sounds, because it really does sound original and new and very gripping, so I can't wait to read it. The fourth question is, what is the most anticipated release for you for the second half of the year? For me, I would say I have two of them. The first one is The Institute by Stephen King. I'm trying to read all of his works this year, and this book in particular sounds absolutely amazing. It kind of makes me think it might be tied into Firestarter a little bit, but I haven't seen anything official about that, and I don't want to say with absolute certainty until I read it, but it's just the vibe that I'm getting off of it. The second book is Seeker by Kim Chance. That is the second book in the Keeper duology, and I really, really loved Keeper. I'm super excited for Kim with Seeker coming out, and I can't wait to read that one as well. I highly support her. She actually has a video, has a channel here on BookTube with writerly advice, showcasing her journey and everything. I've been watching her for a couple of years now. I've really enjoyed her videos. They've helped me tremendously on my own writing journey, which I will be making videos about as well. And I was so excited for her when she got her contract. Keeper was absolutely amazing. I'm sure Seeker will be too. And even though I normally don't jump into new releases right away, I will be picking that up as soon as it comes out. I have to support Kim. She's amazing. I will link her channel down below for you guys. Fifth question is, what is your biggest disappointment of the year so far? And this is not a new release. It's a reread that I've read after many years away from it. I remembered enjoying it much more, but when I reread it, I was majorly disappointed in The Guardian by Nicholas Sparks. This is one of Nicholas Sparks' few thrillery type books, and I appreciated what he was doing with it, that he wanted to try to do something new. It's about a woman who starts being stalked by a man she only went out with a couple of times. And, you know, the premise was great. And once it got into the actual mystery portion of it, it went quite well. It was very suspenseful. But the first half of the book was kind of laggy. It was just like everyday activities, and it just seemed to drag on and take forever. I was disappointed with it. It wasn't bad, but it just was not what I remembered it being. On that note, the next question is, what book made you happy this year? And I already talked about this a little bit, but that would be Keeper by Kim Chance. This was Kim's debut novel. It came out last year, and this follows the story of a girl named Lainey who is 16 years old, and she discovers that she has magical powers, and she is the keeper of this like ancient book that details magic, and she has to stop it from being stolen. It's a really good story. It's original, and I can't wait for Seeker and to see what else that Kim does, because she's a very talented writer. Next question is, who is your favorite new author? It can be either a brand new author or new to you. This is a new to me author, and that is Ruth Ware. I read The Death of Mrs. Westaway, this book right here, last month, and was completely stunned. I loved the writing style, I loved the mystery, I loved the way she grabbed my attention in a way that hasn't been done in quite a long time, and I plan on reading everything that she's got out. I had never heard of this book previously. I'd heard about The Woman in Cabin 10, but I found this first, and I was completely enthralled by it. I couldn't put it down. I will definitely read everything that she puts out, because she is absolutely incredible. Next question is, newest fictional crush. I don't really do crushes on book characters. That's never been my thing. If I had to say something, I would probably change it to the most engaging male character. And for me, I honestly don't really know. I might have to skip this question altogether. I did like the detective in The Woman in the Window. I cannot remember his name. I'll have to look that up. I liked the way he played the good cop, and he seemed to genuinely care about the main character in that, even though she had every appearance of being totally off her rocker. I'll look up his name and insert it for you guys, but that's the closest that I can come up with, honestly. I don't get that kind of attachment to characters, but I did think he was an engaging male character, so I will add that in. Newest favorite character. I would say Vic McQueen from Nosferatu, and I will talk about that book a little bit later on. Vic is a character that we follow for many, many years of her life. She is very, very strong-willed, independent, pushes through her fears, and she's just something to really look up to, and I'll go more into detail about that later on, but I would definitely say her for sure. The next question is book that made you cry. I won't say that I never cry when reading a book. It's rare for me to get emotional. I haven't cried this year with a book. I have come close, and this is probably going to be a shock for some people, but that book for me was The Long Walk by Stephen King. He actually wrote it under his pseudonym, Richard Bachman, and this story is not a horror story like he's most commonly known for. This is about a group of boys, there's either 99 or 100, I'm not 100% positive, that go on this walk, and they have to walk at a minimum speed of 3 miles per hour, and if they drop below that, they get 3 warnings. On the 3rd warning, they're shot, they're dead. And this walk goes on for however long until the last person is standing. And it shows them the mental breakdown, the way their bodies break down, the way their minds break down over the course of this walk, what it does to them, how much it changes them. And it's not a very gory book by any sense of the word, but you get sucked in and you feel what they feel. You feel the blisters on their feet. Your own feet will hurt. Your body will hurt. You feel the hunger. It really draws you in, makes you think about everything that they are going through, and it really is sad what these boys have to endure. So that's why I choose this book, and if you'd like a full-length review on this, let me know. But this is incredibly underrated in my opinion, and it is absolutely amazing storytelling from the master. I made a mix-up earlier. When I talked about the book that made you happy, that was supposed to go here. What I should have talked about at that time was Biggest Surprise, so I'll go ahead and do that now. And that is Nosferatu by Joe Hill. This is Stephen King's son, and I put off reading this for the longest time because I wasn't sure how it was going to be, how his writing was going to be, if he was just cashing in off of his father's name, if favors were called in, that kind of thing. I had heard about the premise of this. I came close to picking it up on several occasions, but I always ended up being too scared to jump into it. And when I finally did, with the announcement of the TV show, I was completely hooked. There are nods to his father's work, but it's completely his own style, his own little world, and it's phenomenal. The writing talent in that family really does shine through. And it literally is the biggest surprise. This book is huge. But it's absolutely incredible. I'm going to be doing a review for this, and that's either going to go up today or tomorrow. It might be right after this video. I'm not sure yet. But this is the book that the character Vic McQueen was from that I was telling you about, and I will go into more depth with that in the actual review. But this is about a man named Charlie Manx who steals children and whisks them off to this place that he calls Christmas Land, and he is convinced that he is actually saving them, but he is devouring them so that he can live longer. It's hard to explain without going into full detail. That's why I'm going to do a full review for it. But if you haven't read this yet, you really, really should. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, the next question is the most beautiful book that you've bought this year. Easily The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I love this cover. It's absolutely incredible. You can't tell on camera, but these like raindrops here that's actually like raised, so it's like a textured feeling. I absolutely love that. My eye was drawn to this immediately, and it makes me want to read this book even more. It's stunning. I love the front. The back is like this matte, cool colors. It's incredible. I can't wait to jump into this. I'm reading this month for the Reading Rush Readathon between July 22nd and July 28th. Okay. The next question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Preferably everything on my TBR. That would be incredible, but I don't think that's going to happen. I do have several series that I want to finish. I want to finish the Hunger Games series. I'm finishing the Divergent series this month, and I want to finish the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series. There's just so many series that I want to finish. I am going to be reading The Mortal Instruments for the very first time. I know you guys are probably screaming at me right now. That series and Cassandra Clare in general is just so popular. And it's that very reason that I've put it off, because of the hype. I kept waiting for the hype to die down, and it never did. So now I'm thinking it's probably going to be something along the lines of Harry Potter, where the hype isn't going to die down because it's just that amazing. So I might as well just go ahead and read it. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to vlog the process of me reading Mortal Instruments for the first time. I may just do that, film my reactions and things as I go along with each book in the series and give my thoughts on them as I go. Or I may do a series review once I've completed them. I haven't decided quite yet. And the last question is, favorite book community member? This one is so difficult. I watch so many lovely people on BookTube and on AuthorTube that are all so helpful with their tips and their recommendations, and bringing attention to books that I ordinarily might not have noticed. I'll give special shout outs to Books and Lala, Haley in Bookland, Emma Books, A Book Utopia on the BookTube side. And on the AuthorTube side, I would say Kim Chance, Jenna Morrissey, A Bookish Pixie, and let's see, Alexa Dunn is very, very helpful as well. I will link all of those channels in the descriptions for you guys down below. But that is it for my mid-year freakout tag. It was super fun to compile this, and I can't wait to do more tag videos for you guys. If you want any full reviews for any of the books mentioned today, make sure to leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.